What's up, Jeff Gang? I'm Jeffery Phillips. Thank you for clicking on the video. Look, it's no secret that KSI is currently in the thick of it.
I'm in the thick of it, everybody knows.
In the past few weeks, he has just made bad decision after bad decision. First, his business venture with Logan Paul and Mr. Beast Lunchly has been a complete disaster, and he's only made it worse by acting like a big old baby online after being criticized for it. Then, as if he was trying to ruin any amount of positive public perception that was left of him, he went ahead and released one of the worst songs of the year.
From the screen to the ring to the pen to the king. Where's my crown? That's my bling.
Thick of It by KSI is a song that is comically bad. Look, I'm not going to dwell on it because I know this horse has already been beaten off to death, but from literally the first line, you could just tell this song wouldn't be good. I'm in the thick of it, everybody knows, is just not a tough statement to start off a song. There's no oomph to it. It sort of just sounds like he knew he wanted to start the song off with I'm in the thick of it, but then didn't know what to put after, so he just settled with everybody knows. For me, it's almost the same thing as when Dream started off his song with people change like the tides in the ocean, at least I think, or am I dead wrong? What is the point of that second statement? It doesn't add anything. Then there's also lyrics like 40 something milli subs or so I've been told. What do you mean, or so I've been told? Don't pull that nonchalant gimmick with me, KSI. You know damn well just how many subscribers you have. That information is easily accessible and you own the damn channels. Nobody's telling you how many subs you have. And of course, there's the lyrics that made this song so infamous in the first place. From the screen to the ring, to the pen to the king. Where's my crown? That's my bling. Always drama when I ring. Which, I mean, what's there to even say at this point? It's just so painfully basic. It sounds like a 12-year-old wrote it. Even beyond the lyrics, the production is also super generic. It sounds like it's supposed to be for an epic intro to a children's TV show. It's just not a good song, and I'll leave it at that. However, with the popularity of this new song, it had me wondering, what about KSI's other music? Is it just as bad, or was this just an accidental misstep on KSI's part? I, for one, do not know. So with KSI's new album, Caught in Two Minds, set to release sometime this year, I thought it'd be fun to take a look at KSI's first 3 albums and find out if KSI is truly in the thick of it. Now, KSI has been releasing music for quite a while now, dating back to 9 years ago during 2015, at least on Spotify. But as for these earlier songs, I won't be covering them just because most of them were made as jokes for his YouTube channel or are diss tracks also for his YouTube channel. And these songs aren't really fair to critique because they aren't intended to be anything amazing. I just feel like genuinely critiquing a KSI diss track is something someone who isn't fun at parties would do, and that's not me at all. I'm the fucking life of the party. Instead, I'll just be making fun of the work he genuinely put effort and care into. KSI's first album, New Age, was actually pretty interesting as it was a collaboration one with his artist and friend Randolph, released in 2019. Some of the notable songs on this album include Clean, which is a song about making money, not to be confused with every other song on this album, which is also about making money. In this song, KSI does something very interesting where he starts it off by just saying one-sentence statements.
Clean, clean. Man, I'm feeling mean.
And he doesn't just do this once in the song. He has the same flow multiple different times, and it never sounds good.
Dirty sheets, need receipts for the tax. Need more plaques.
I just find it silly how KSI chose a flow so bad that even I could pull it off. I had a dream, Lightning McQueen. That's my thing. Driving like a kid. There's also the genius lyric, I don't trust a man that FaceTimes, I know men that did crimes. Which in the lyrics, FaceTime is spelt like the Apple feature. So I guess this is supposed to be some double entendre of like, I don't trust a man that faced time, like did crime. And also, I don't trust a man that uses FaceTime, aka calling someone. Yeah, I'm not really sure this needed to have a double meaning. I feel like it makes more sense to just say FaceTime. I don't think there's ever a reason to not trust someone who uses FaceTime. That's actually a pretty normal thing to do. Then right after the song Clean is the song Real Name, which is an incredible song for all the wrong reasons. Easily the best song off this album, and possibly I've ever listened to. The song has really 3 separate storylines going on. Randolph is rapping about his commitment issues as he has a relationship with a girl but feels too vulnerable to tell her his real name. She wanna know my real name. She getting way too comfortable. Now she wanna wear my chain. I'm feeling way too vulnerable. She wants to know my government name. Low-key, if I was with a girl and she asked me for my government name, I'd feel a little too vulnerable also. What is she, working with the government? Am I wanted for tax evasion? She wanna know my government name. I'm getting scared she's a cop. Then the chorus is from the girl's perspective, and she's singing about how she needs to trust a guy. We've been getting closer. You want me to come over? I need a little more, and before I give it all, I want to give it to with someone who's there for a thought. And then, as if nobody told KSI the concept of this song, KSI's whole verse is just straight up about sex. Big black man with banana trees got me swinging the way she pinning her punani freaky, her tsunami peaking, yeah. Alright, dude. I don't think I could write a parody song funnier than that. I mean, this is just genius. We have Randolph and his girl over here rapping about being too vulnerable and needing to trust someone before you put your all into someone. And then we got KSI describing himself as big black man with banana trees. I'm really glad he felt the need to not only tell us about having sex with a fan, but also felt the need to describe it in the most colorful way possible. It sounded like a real fun time. I mean, her punani was freaking and her tsunami was peaking. Wow. Don't make me jealous, KSI. I don't know who I would rather be in that scenario. And then on top of that, as if they were trying to make the funniest song ever, the instrumental that plays in the background right after during the pre-chorus sounds like some shit straight out of Super Mario Sunshine.
We've been getting closer. You want me to come over? I need a little.
The production in this song is actually just as bad as the contents. The beat is so simple and goofy sounding that I'm 99% sure they found it by searching up summer vibes type beat free on YouTube. This is one of those songs that is just so bad, it's actually a must listen. Sometimes when I'm feeling sad, I listen to it and it honestly makes me feel better. And the last song I'll talk about on this album is the song Slow Motion. It's a super slow and boring song that drags for the entire 3-minute and 49-second runtime. And while I appreciate the commitment to making it feel exactly like its title, goddamn, it also represents everything that's wrong with this album. First of all, can you guess what it's about? It's about having sex and making money, like every single other one. And of course, there's some of the most corny lyrics ever written, riddled throughout this song. Rub her clit, legit, like it's analog. I'm a dog when I chase pussy, I'm a demigod. I don't think you should ever describe the way you rubbed someone's clit as legit. KSI might be the only rapper where him rapping about sex makes him look significantly less cool. Another problem with the song, and really the whole album, is the production is just so basic. It's pretty clear there is no direction to anything on this album. I feel like they found each beat on YouTube and just went from there. So overall, KSI's first album, New Age, is it good? Hell no. It's not good. It's not good at all. The best way I could describe this album is it reminds me of when I would play Madden 16 and I'd be sitting in the menus while the in-game music played. It's just like generic sports game background music, and not like the modern day games where it's mostly just mainstream rap. It's specifically a dated 2015 to 2018 sound where you don't really know any of the songs in the game, and they all kind of sound the same, so they just blend together into one generic sound. But while Madden 16 had a good song every once in a while, this album does not. Every song on this album is worse than Thick of It, and man, it ain't even close. The album is boring, uninspired, and oh my god, sometimes I feel like the only thing KSI thinks about is sex. 90% of his verses is him describing another way of laying pipe, and I am sick of it. His buddy Randolph does not have this problem. He raps about plenty of things other than sex. KSI is just a freaky ass rapper, I guess. But after the release of New Age, KSI was not satisfied. He started to take his music career much more seriously, signing to the major record label RBC Records and BMG on November 4th of 2019, a day I make sure to celebrate every year, to quote unquote take his music to the next level. And then a few months later, in May of 2020, KSI was back at it again, releasing the album Dissimulation. A pretty quick turnaround to release new music, as it was only 1 year and a month after New Age. But fortunately, this didn't seem to matter too much, as this album is so much better than New Age, especially the production. The beats are much more complex this time around. I feel like they actually added to the song instead of just being there to rap over like the last album. Also, there's so much more energy in the tracks too. Although it's definitely not anything amazing, I can definitely appreciate the improvement overall. This really does feel like he took the leap from being a YouTuber who makes music to an artist, albeit not a very good one yet. One thing that is very interesting about this album is the amount of mainstream rap artists that are featured throughout. He's got artists like Rick Ross, Trippie Redd, Lil Baby, Offset, Lil Pump, and even the Smoke Perp, aka the worst freestyler of all time.
I'm a motherfucking boner. I got a motherfucking boner. Yeah, my effing from the bus, I got a boner. Boner.
I'd say that most times these features do elevate the song, but it also does make KSI's lesser skill set very apparent when you can compare him to a great artist in the same song. For example, in the song Cap, Offset just blows him completely out of the water, both lyrically and just how they sound in general. The best way I could describe it is KSI is trying to be hard and cool like the other rappers, but just doesn't have that cool ass motherfucker factor. So everything he says is just less cool because he doesn't live a cool ass life like Offset does. And it leads to the silly dichotomy of Offset rapping about gang violence and shooting people, while KSI's first lyrics are "coolin' a bitch trying to find me, my bread that she cookin' is grimy," which aren't bad lyrics in a vacuum, but they do sound a bit silly in context. Also in this song, the Travis Scott inspiration is very clear, as it feels like he's trying to copy Travis's sound one for one, but just less good. There's so much auto-tune and reverb on his voice that I've heard it described as Travis Scott with bronchitis. Another song that has a similar problem is Wake Up Call with Trippie Redd. I found Trippie's chorus on the song to be pretty catchy, although it is very generic. Yeah, this the wake up call. Ain't no walking out, you better wake up, dog. Yeah, this the wake up call. Every other day I'm getting cake like yum. But KSI's verse just didn't really hit, and I honestly don't even think it's really his fault. The instrumental they chose for this song just doesn't play well to his strengths. It's a bit of a boring, slow one, and KSI is so much better when the beat is fast-paced and energetic. Just like in the song Houdini, which is probably KSI's best song I've heard thus far. It features a very catchy and fun chorus, and KSI's flow and line delivery throughout this whole song is the best it's ever been, even if there are still some very silly moments. But although this project is flawed at times and features some laughable moments, I won't hate too much. KSI's effort throughout the whole thing is clear, and it's so much less generic than his first album that even though I know I will probably never go back to this album, I can't help but feel like a proud dad seeing KSI improve. All I can ask after all is that he tries his best, and after listening to this album, I feel like he did. My final rating for this album is some songs better than Thick of It out of 10. So now that leaves us with one last album, All Over the Place, released in 2021, which actually continues the streak of KSI releasing a new album almost exactly 1 year later than his first one, as it was released in July. Once again, I feel like this is a pretty quick turnaround for an artist, especially one with so many different projects like KSI. So if there's one thing I can appreciate about him, it's his work ethic. On Spotify, for some reason though, the only version of this album that is up is All Over the Place Platinum VIP Edition. Honestly, I feel like that name is a bit extra. Like, he could have chosen Platinum Edition or VIP Edition, and it would have gotten the point across just fine. Instead, he chose Platinum VIP Edition, like this is some crazy exclusive edition. I mean, shit. He only added 2 extra songs. It's not that big of a deal. But anyway, as for the contents, KSI's All Over the Place is totally all over the place. This album's really got a little bit of everything. We got upbeat dancing tracks, hard-ass rap tracks, some wholesome tracks, and even some sad KSI tracks. And they are all sprinkled sporadically across this album's full 40-minute runtime with seemingly no rhyme or reason. Although this is not really the worst thing in the world, because if this album was another one of just straight hip-hop tracks, I might have just killed myself. I welcome KSI trying to expand his sound, and I found myself enjoying the upbeat pop KSI more than I ever did the rap KSI I've been hearing these past weeks. In fact, the song Patience featuring Youngblood and Polo G is actually a certified banger. Like, genuinely, it's a great song. I ain't even got anything funny to say about it. Another great song off this album is Holiday, which was added for the Plat VIP edition. It's the one song I've heard of KSI's other than Thick of It before I made this video, and I actually still remember the first day I heard it. My friend was driving me to work and he's like, yo, KSI made a new song and it's actually pretty good. And then he played it and I was like, yeah, this is pretty good. It's a very wholesome song about his significant other where he sings, and yes, I said sings, about how spending time with his significant other is like a holiday break. The singing is actually pretty solid, and admittedly, I find the song super cute. It's such a nice side of KSI to see, especially after listening to him sing about sex so much in the first album. It's really like I watched him fall in love and mature right in front of my own eyes. Oh, what a beautiful thing. Thank you, KSI. Thank you for showing me such a beautiful part of your life. God bless you. Unfortunately, this album is not without its flaws. For example, the song Sleeping with the Enemy is a deep emotional cut about him quitting school and his parents' reactions, but it has one severe problem. It's boring as fuck. So who cares about your trials and tribulations, KSI? I can barely listen to your track without falling asleep. If you ever think about being vulnerable in front of me again, make sure it's an interesting song. Also, there's the song Swerve, which feels like a song straight out of New Age. It's super generic, it's super boring. The chorus is literally just the word swerve 12 times. And the thing I'm most disappointed about is KSI is back to singing corny lyrics about sex. Hella horny like a rhino watching porn. This is just sad, man. It's like watching your older brother do cocaine again after 3 years of being sober. Me obsessive with the ass. I gotta hold it like I see. Me so disappointed. Probably my favorite lyric is from the song Really Love. This is definitely not a bad song. The chorus is pretty catchy and KSI's verse is pretty fun, but I think KSI had a little too much fun with his verse. That booty got me moving with the stiffness, praying that I finally get to hit this. Wrecking my balls. Miley. Another cool song is Number 2 featuring 21 Savage and Future. It's only notable because he got 2 huge artists to feature on it, and honestly, I'm just impressed by that. Unfortunately, the song is so uninteresting, I don't even remember anything about it, and I listened to it yesterday. Also, there's the song You, which is another wholesome song about his girlfriend, except unlike Holiday, this song is not very good, and if I was KSI's girlfriend, I would dump him for making such a lame song about me. All in all, KSI's latest album, All Over the Place, is slightly better than Dissimulation. It has a lot of new highs, but also some unfortunate lows. There's just too many times where KSI's lyricism it just makes me laugh. So I give it a rating of a good amount of songs better than Thick of It out of 10. So that's KSI's music. Is it as bad as people think it is? Nah. It's pretty solid. Nothing groundbreaking, but I will say, at least compared to the other artists I've covered like Dream and Dixie D'Amelio, it's clear that KSI has a genuine understanding and care to the music he makes and wants to make. Although it's not quite on the level of mainstream artists yet, he certainly outshines most of his YouTube contemporaries. He definitely has problems like his corny lyricism, but I wouldn't be surprised if this next album he's releasing is another step forward for him as an artist. I would probably guess that his next album, Caught in Two Minds, would probably be anywhere from a 5 out of 10 to a 7 out of 10. I'm not expecting anything amazing, but, you know, it's certainly nothing to hang your head on. So yeah, that's KSI's music career. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed. And remember, live, laugh, love, Jeffy P.